Hi everybody and welcome back. I'm still in the 4th of July season mood, so we're going to do another 4th of July craft. So let's get started. So first of all, I went to Menards after the Christmas season was over with, and I got this for 50% off. They do sell stuff like this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, so you can still pick them up at places. I'm sure Target sometimes has them. I don't know that they always do though. So we're starting with that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the tag off of this. It was a Christmas item, and so I got it for the 50% off. And I just saved it for the 4th of July because I had already bought something that I knew was going to fit inside this, and so that's why I bought it. So first we're going to take this, and we're going to take some gray paint, acrylic paint, and we're going to paint just this bottom part here with the acrylic paint. Okay, I think I'm just going to squirt a little bit in here. And then I'm going to use one of my sponges, Dollar Tree special, 6 of them for $1 at the Dollar Tree. I tell you guys about those a lot. So I'm just going to smear it all over. I might have to do a couple coats on here. I'm going to try to be careful when we get to the edges. I'm just trying to cover up the design because we're going to do our own thing. Okay, now this is definitely going to need 2 to 3 coats, but I'm going to set this to the side and let it dry. The paint I am using is an acrylic paint. It's Apple Barrel is the brand, and the color is Country Gray, which is kind of a light to medium color gray. So you don't have to get this exact brand, but you would want acrylic paint and you would want it to be a light to medium gray. Okay, we're going to let that dry. So in the meantime, while that's drying, I purchased this online. I typed in My Crafty Beginnings Company, and that you can look up signs like this. This is how it came, like this. So we're going to use this Happy 4th of July. I'm going to go ahead and take it apart. I bought these a while ago, and this one was, let me see where, 4th of July. This one was $5.96, which isn't too bad for a little sign. I thought that was a decent price. I like everything I've gotten from this company. I would definitely buy from them again. I bought more than one at the same time. I bought like about 12 of the signs at the same time, and I did get a discount. I believe it was 20% off, and it was before Christmas that I had done it. So now that you pulled all the tape off the back, it'll come apart like that. So now we have our Happy 4th of July. So I'm going to take that Happy 4th of July, and we first have to do our gray on here also. I'm going to just pour it in this. Okay, so first we're going to paint this gray. I know that doesn't sound very patriotic, but it's because we are going to put the weathered stuff on here, and then we're going to put the blue. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this gray, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side to let this dry. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can put another coat on here. Okay, it's time to set this to the side again and let it dry again. And then we'll see how it looks. I'm going to bring this one back, and I'm going to do one more coat on this one. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side again and let it dry. You know, I almost forgot about the handles. I do want to also do the handles. So I'm going to do those gray also. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab my hair dryer so we can dry this so we can move on to the next step. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that this stuff's all dry. So they sell crafty blow dryers, but that you can just use for your crafts. but you might as well just use your hair dryer if you have it, especially if you have a low setting, because you don't really want it on the high hot setting. But if you have a low setting, you can just use your hair dryer instead. All right, so now I'm going to use the weathered wood. We've used this once before. I don't know if you remember. It's on my spring sign, the sign that just says Happy Spring, and it has the little birdhouses. So we used it on there, and it made the birdhouses look a little bit weathered. It's called Deco Art Weathered Wood, and I bought it a long time ago from, it doesn't say on here where it's from, but it was either Michael's. I want to say it was Michael's because that's where I used to go all the time. I used to also go to Ben Franklin and those places, but I think that was longer ago than this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour that on the side here. And I'm going to grab another one of these sponges. And I'm going to go ahead and go over this Happy 4th sign. Okay, so now I'm going to set this to the side and let that start to dry. And while that's drying, we're going to take this back over and we're going to go everywhere that I put the gray, we're going to go ahead and use the weathered wood over all of that also. So the handles and the gray backing, we're going to do weathered wood on it. Okay, as soon as you know that it's all coated, then set it to the side to dry, and we're going to go ahead and get our hair dryer out again. And we're going to pull the 4th of July back over, and I'm going to go ahead and dry that. Okay, when that's done, you're going to go ahead and do the same thing with your tray. So once you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and move on, and we're going to go back to our Happy 4th of July sign again. Okay, so now we're going to paint our Happy 4th of July sign. We're going to go ahead and use an acrylic patriotic blue that I have. Now this one's old. I've had it for a long time. It's from Ceram Coat by Delta, but you can use any acrylic that you want to use. Just make sure it's a patriotic blue. Now this one's kind of a little bit darker than the blue I used on the sign behind me, because I wanted the little bit darker to use with because we're doing a weathered look. So I was trying to use not the bright reds and the bright blues, but a little bit darker colors. So you can get your paints at either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and just pick out a color that looks pretty to you. Even if it did end up being the bright ones, it would still look pretty. I just wanted to go with a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and pour it in here. And I'm just going to paint the whole thing this blue. Okay, so then when you're all done with that, we're going to, again, push it to the side and let it dry. And then we're going to bring this one over. Now, I want to make stripes inside here. We're going to do red and white stripes. So I'm going to go ahead and use something that has a straight edge. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab a pen. And I'm just going to go along and make some stripes. Now my lines go most of the way across, but the paper's not quite long enough to make them go all the way across, but as I'm painting it, I will make them go all the way across. I'm just eyeing it and trying to make them look approximately the same size. If you're a real stickler for that, you can go ahead and use a measuring tape or something to make sure they're the same size. I'm not a stickler like that. As long as it looks right, I'm okay with that. Okay, so this is what I have so far. You can see all the lines. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white paint and I'm going to do every other one white. So here's my white paint. Now my white paint is Americana, and this one I got at, I bought it a while ago, Hobby Lobby. I don't know. I don't remember the price. They used to always have their 40% off. They don't do that anymore. But sometimes the stuff's on sale, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a brush. I think I'm going to use this size since it fits good in between my lines. And I'm going to go white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. So I'm starting with white and I'm just going to do white, red, white, red. Now, if you're painting like I'm painting and you get some on your metal part up here, you can later on take like a paint remover, or honestly, because it's acrylic paint, it should wash, because it's metal with acrylic paint, you should be able to just use water and just get a little paper towel and wipe those little pieces off. Okay, so what, I'm going to just do that all the way down, and then I'll be back and we'll do the red. You'll notice as you go along painting that it already is making it look the weathered wood look. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, I'm going to rinse this brush out, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my red and do the other lines red. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use the Folk Art Cardinal Red is the color. You can get it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I've had mine for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and do every other line. And I'm still using the brush that actually is about that size. Okay, so here's what I have. So now that's going to start looking crackly. We're going to go ahead and set that to the side. And we're going to go back to our Happy 4th of July. Okay, so now we're going to need white paint again. And I bought this stencil from Hobby Lobby, and it was $1.99, and it's got some little stars on it. I thought I'd show you with a stencil that I didn't make on the Cricut, so that you can see that you really can get these stencils, you know, at the store. I don't know why I'm pulling that off. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take the white paint, put it in here. I'm going to take one of those sponges, and I'm going to, there's different size stars on here. I'm going to use these little itty bitty stars over here. So on the sign, I think I'm going to skip the little skinny parts, but wherever it will fit most of the star, I'm going to go ahead and start putting stars. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to take our sponge and dip it a little bit in the white. So you don't want too terribly much paint on your brush, because then it will leak underneath your stencil. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going all around and making these cute little stars. So I put stars around all of it except for the part that says the TH and of. I just put it on the Happy and the July and the 4. Also, I bought this from Hobby Lobby, this ribbon. It was $4.79. And I thought we'd make a cute little bow out of it. And our bow has stars on it. It's really cute. So I was going to do the bow. We've done it quite a few times. I'm trying to decide how big to make it. Yes, I think we'll do that. So my project is 14 inches, and I'm going to make my bow 13 inches. So it's going to be pretty big at the top. So we took the end, and the end is, here, we'll just start over. So here's the end. We're going to go ahead and fold it over, and then we're going to fold it again. And again. So that's 2 on each side. This is 3, 4. Okay, but we want to end on the opposite side. So we're going to go one more time and cut it off. Okay, so then we're going to set the ribbon to the side. I have a piece of twine here. It actually came off of something that I bought. I just untied it and decided I could use it for my bow. So we're going to just scrunch down in the middle and tie the twine around it really, really, really tight as we can. And we're going to just tie it in a knot as tight as we can. And then we're going to go ahead and fluff up our bow. We'll just pull all the little parts. You're just pulling them apart and twisting them a little bit to keep it apart. Pull it apart, twist it a little. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And our little pieces that are stuck in here, one's on the outside here, we're going to just push it down. There's one on the inside in here. We're going to pull that one down. They're a little bit uneven, but we'll fix that in a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish fluffing it up. You're just kind of twisting it a little so that it doesn't fall right back into place. Now this has a little bit of texture to it. I don't think it's wired especially, but it's got enough texture that it should stay where it doesn't fall right back together. Now we're going to take our 2 bottom pieces, the 2 ends, and we're going to go ahead and fold them a little, just like this. And we're going to take our scissors and cut up like this so that it makes what they call a ducktail. And we're going to do that on this side also. And this side we're going to not cut so much off, just a tiny bit, just enough to make it the ducktail. And then we're going to see if they look even enough. So this one I'm going to cut a little more off, the longer one. Okay, now my glue gun is all warmed up, so I'm going to set that to the side. And we're going to go ahead and glue this to the center here. So I'm just going to tip it over and just put a lot of the glue from the glue gun on it. We're going to take it, tip it over, put it in the center, and push it down to hold it in place. So I'm going to cut the back off of this. Now I also have a bag of stars. You can get these at Hobby Lobby. They usually sell them, like one bag will have this size in it. One bag will have this size in it. You might be able to find a mixed bag at either Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I've mostly saw them where you have to buy all the different sizes. So I was going to take one of the bigger ones. Whoa, I'm knocking them all over. I actually have one that's already painted a blue, but I think I'm going to use that one, but I'm going to paint over it with our blue that we've been using. Just wanted to be sure that it would match. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side for a second. I'm thinking we'll go ahead and do a couple more little stars too. And we're going to paint them all blue because we have the red and white background, so we'll do the blue. So I went to Ace Hardware, and I was looking for something that I could use to hang this with if I wanted to hang it. I might just put it on my counter, but if we wanted to hang it, we'd need to know a way to do that. So I was looking around, and I found this picture hanger, and it was $2.79, but with tax it was $2.99, so $3. And all you have to do is hook it here on one end, and it's got these springs, and then you just pull it all the way to the other side, the other end here. And it is a very tight squeeze. This one is supposed to fit plates that are between 10 and 14 inches. And I really, really, really have to pull hard for it to work. Okay. Phew. So it is a very tight squeeze, but it works. As you can see, you can hang it on either end. So we're going to hang it this way. So all you would do is put a little nail in the wall and then hang it that way. And you can bend this part if you need to bend it inward farther. So when it's hanging on the nail, it'll work like that. So now we just want to finish. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and take these little stars that we painted and place them around also. Okay, we're just going to paint the handles right over again with white. Okay, so now to make this shiny, if you want it shiny, or to also weatherproof it if you want to put it outside, you would use this. It's called Polyacrylic by Minwax, and you should make sure you use it outside. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and take it outside real quick. Okay, see how it looks shiny now? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take the bow that remember we stuck the ribbon on the back? We're going to go ahead, put glue on the top part of that ribbon. And we're going to go ahead and plop it right on the top here. And I'm going to hold it for a minute so that it dries. Okay, so here's our finished sign. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Make sure to tell your friends about me, and like, comment, and subscribe. All of it helps me tremendously. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.